Some people read to escape, but I read to remember who I was before work, emails, traffic, and adulthood started screaming louder than my own imagination. Welcome to Read With Rahmat, where we read between the lines of life, one story at a time. I am Rahmat, your new favorite bookish bestie, and this is a safe space for you, for me, for people who love words, wisdom, and a little chaos. So let's get straight to it. Why Read With Rahmat? Why should you follow me? Why should you invest in this podcast? Why should you be here? And I'm going to be here talking about books even when I have a full-time job. I have a 9-to-5 as an engineering project planner. I have endless deadlines. I have about 500 projects to keep up with. I have a lot of project managers to chase. And also, I have a reading list that could knock someone out if it fell off a shelf. Because reading saves me. It has saved me in the past and it is still saving me. It is just that simple. It is one of the things that always made sense to me. When nothing else mattered, when I was in a period where I was seriously stuck, the feeling you're working hard, you're putting the effort, but everything just seems to fall off. You can't just seem to get it right. Who gave me a way back to my quietly, humbly, without demanding anything in return. This podcast was born out of rediscovery. I wanted to build a space where we can talk about books, but also talk about life through books. The funny part, the painful part, the self-discovery, the soft girl ambition, the cultural identity, generational traumas, self-help. So what exactly am I doing here, and what exactly are we doing here, and what will I be showcasing to you all? Every week I will be reading, ranting, and reflecting with you. Expect honest book reviews, deep dive into stories that mirror our life, and I don't promise that will be few, but a few dramatic monologues about fictional character who don't deserve us, fictional character who could have done better, fictional character who deserve better. We're going to explore African literature, global bestseller, self-help, anything books. We're going to review anything that has been written and published. We are going to talk about it. Sometimes I'll bring guest authors, creativity, fellow readers who make me think differently. Other times it will just be me, my mic, and my cup of tea, reading between those lines. This isn't a literature class. It isn't therapy, but it could be therapy. It is the living room conversation for people who believe stories matters, for people who would read for more than just reading sake, for people who read to reflect, for people who read to self-help, for people who read for rediscovery. Now, I'm going to introduce my personality to you through 3 books that shaped me and possibly opened up to who I am today. First, I'm going to start with Popular Biscuits by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. This was my introduction to quiet power. I read this when I was in secondary school. Kambili's silence, that careful, suffocating silence. It showed me how people live unheard. It made me want to tell stories louder, putting myself in Kambili's shoe. Also, another book I hold in high esteem and as defined who I am, my thought process, my mindset, is Atomic Heartbeats by James. I still have that. I have the workbook as well. This one, with my thinking, I used to think motivation was enough, but then it made me realize the discipline is boring, but it is freedom. Atomic Heartbeats taught me that my goals doesn't care about my mood, but reading could also be productive, and productivity is something I always strive for anytime. And the third book, I know you won't expect this and you won't see this coming. Nearly all the men in Lagos are mad. I know a lot of us have read this book. Now, this one is, I'll say therapy. There was something about reading it. I'll call it therapy in disguise as fiction. The first time I read it, I was like, this is hilarious. The second time I was like, wait, I think I've dated someone like this. It is one of those books that drag you through loving by your head. It drags you through relatable parts. It ties you together. The book reminds me that reading isn't just an hobby. It's sometimes a mirror. Sometimes it could be flattering, sometimes it could be brutal, but always honest. And it will always go straight to the point. So that's me. Every week we'll find meaningful stories, humors, and ad break, and maybe even ourselves in the pages. Then, with Rahmat an invitation, if this sounds like your kind of space, then follow, subscribe, and join our little bookish community on Instagram, on TikTok, on YouTube, on Spotify. Tell me what you were reading, what you're loving, and what book broke you, but you would still recommend to anyone, any day, anytime. Till next time, may your coffee stay hot, may your to be read pile up, forgive you. Go and read your TBR. So I am Rahmat, and this is Read with Rahmat. Thank you.